Okay, in this lesson, we're going to go through piston movement and the 4 strokes. You can see here on the diagram that we have a piston at the top, our connecting rod, and green is our crankshaft journal, which is attached to our crankshaft as a whole. As this thing rotates, you can see how the piston stays stationary as far as going side to side, but moves up and down. We're basically turning our up and down movement into reciprocating or turning movement of the crankshaft. If you think about the way the crankshaft moves, it goes in 360 degrees. So think of a circle, 360 degrees in it. So a crankshaft from here will travel 360 degrees to make one full revolution of the piston going from the top dead center to bottom dead center, back up the top dead center. So 0 degrees starting at the top, 180 degrees brings us to half a revolution, which is bottom dead center. And then as we continue up to our 360 degrees, one full revolution, back up the top dead center again, 360 degrees. So a crankshaft piston will travel 180, 360. Now, if we talk about the 4 strokes of an engine, there's 4 of them: intake, compression, power, and exhaust. There's 4 strokes. So of the 4 strokes, each stroke is 1/2 revolution. That'll be 1 stroke. That'd be a second stroke. 4 strokes, we start over again. Be the 3rd stroke and the 4th stroke. 720 degrees total. 2 revolutions of the crankshaft gives us 4 strokes, and I'll explain that right in the next slide. In this slide, our piston is located here. Connecting rod, crankshaft is here. It's just a flywheel we can see here. Added to this is our cylinder around it here. We've also added a camshaft, which basically is how we move our valves. Intake valve. I also have a camshaft on this side, and tap it, both sides, or lifter, and another valve, exhaust valve. This is a dual overhead cam because it has one cam that controls the intake valves and one cam that controls exhaust valve. Here's our 4 strokes, 1 through 4. First stroke is intake. Piston is going to move down. The valve here, the intake valve, is going to open. We'll see fuel and air being drawn in green. So there's my first stroke right there. Top dead center to bottom dead center. Intake valve open, draw in air and fuel. That's 180 degrees, half revolution. One more time. Here to there. Second stroke. Compression. I'm going to compress the fuel and air in here. Close both valves. Keep it all in here. So our sealing points are here. Intake valve, exhaust valve, our rings, and here's our spark plug that'll ignite it in the next stroke. So my intake stroke is here, pulls air and fuel in. Stroke number 2, compression. I compress the fuel in the air into the small little area here called the combustion chamber. You can see now the spark plug is just starting to fire. That's our 3rd stroke, which is power. The valves are both still closed. Spark plug ignited. The explosion forces the piston down, like so. Okay, the beginning. Intake stroke. Half revolution of the crankshaft, 180 degrees. Compression stroke. Half revolution. Compression stroke. Half revolution. That's 360 degrees. 1 revolution of the crankshaft. We have our ignition, our spark. Creates our 3rd stroke, combustion, which forces the piston down. That's another half revolution. Piston top, bottom, half revolution. The very last stroke, again, you notice that this valve's still closed, and so is this valve. Our last revolution, the fourth one, or our fourth stroke, is our exhaust stroke. All the burnt up fuel and air is pushed out. The exhaust valve will open at this point, and we'll move up. Okay, so again, stroke 1, intake, compression, power, exhaust. That will be 2 full revolutions of the crankshaft, which is 720 degrees of rotation. Each stroke's 180, plus 180, plus 180, plus 180 is 720. Okay, 180, half revolution. 180 again, 360 degrees, 1 full revolution. Another 180, another 180, 720. 720 degrees, full revolution to the crank.